Hi there, I am the CRM
Hello.
Ninja, and on today's episode, see, such an eager guest. Can't even wait to introduce him. On today's episode of the Oops Factor, I have Victor Dantas. Welcome to the show, Victor.
Hey, thanks, yeah. Thanks for having me.
It's a great pleasure. Now, for those people who are wondering why I happen to have a very random city landscape, it's not very random because it's actually Calgary where you live, isn't it?
It is, it is. It's the place we call home. We've been in Calgary for the last, 6 years. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the reason that I chose this specific picture is that, contrary to people's beliefs, I mean, like it rains all the time in England, for instance, it's not always cold and snowy in Calgary. Isn't that true?
That is true. It is. It gets quite warm. I mean, I'm originally from Brazil, so I'm used to the high temperatures, and we get some weeks, I should say, of really summerish temperature here in the north. But it's nice. So we get a little bit of every season. So
Uh, we sort of get that as well. Occasionally, we'll have a couple of days of proper summer here in the UK, but nothing like Brazil.
yeah, the city I come from in Brazil, it's pretty much we have two seasons. It's like scorching hot, and then it's scorching hot with a little bit of rain. So those are the two seasons we have.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
I understand that one of your hobbies, if you can call it that, is playing musical instruments with your family. Can you tell
that
us a bit
is
about it?
yes. I learned the piano when I was 11, and then I'm a father of three girls, and they love music
Wow.
as well. Yeah, they love music as well. So we try to have instruments around the house, and they sit down and pick up and learn. My two older girls, they play piano, they play the violin and cello and the guitar, and they want to pick up bass this holiday season. So we'll see.
And is this sort of like formal training, like they go for lessons or something with a teacher, or you just sort of pick it up and see how you go with it?
They did, and they still do throughout the year. They go to classes more for reading music sheets and whatnot, and then if they're learning a new instrument, they kind of get the hang of it with a teacher. But we try to spread music instruments around the house so that instead of having toys and dolls or even electronics, they can just sit down and pick an instrument and play with it until they learn. So it's kind of cool.
So some people, Chris Huntingford, for instance, walks around and there's Lego scattered all over, but in your house it sounds no Lego. You've just got musical instruments all around the place.
There, there you go. Yeah.
Have you put on shows together for others or the neighborhood?
Not not quite, but I'm starting to think that this is probably gonna be my retirement. My retirement investment. Maybe they will grow into loving music and then do it for a living. I don't know. You never know.
And you could always, float the idea of being their manager. I mean, you know them
There you
pretty
go.
well, right?
That's right. That's right. I'll start charging back all the fees and all the costs.
That's it. It's like you start off at that 15% rate, and yeah,
There
best
you go.
interests at heart.
There.
Now that's really awesome. Music is obviously very creative, and combined with what we can do with technology as well, it's just really
Mhm.
amazing. Really
It
complements it.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
So, from musical instruments to the Oops Factor, what do you have to share with us?
Well, I was really delighted to receive your invitation to come to the show. I love community. Maybe I love it more than I should. The technical community, and the reason why I say maybe I love more than I should, it's just because it is a lot of work. You know how it
Yes.
goes. But
Yeah.
in my upbringing, was raised on a regular family up until a point. Then my parents got divorced, and kind of life as
Yeah.
as normal as people may assume it should be, it wasn't anymore for me at that point. And
Yeah.
education and family and community coming together was really what made a difference in my life.
Okay.
So when when I go out there and we put out events and we try to do, you know, YouTube videos, it always take me back to the reason why I do this. You know, I don't think if it wasn't for community, I maybe wouldn't be alive, and even, you know, raising a family and being a proud dad and be having this joy of safety of a home. You know, so community is something that I really hold dear to my heart, and that's something that I would love to talk about if we can.
Yeah, go for it. It's about you sharing stories. We can all learn from it.
There you go. There you go. And so I got connected with a bunch of people through one channel, which is the 365 Saturday. And it's been quite a ride for the last year and a half, 2 years. I have met people from all over the globe and had a chance to connect and establish friendships, which has been really rewarding. I shouldn't probably mention names. If I do, I'll spend all the time on the show.
It's fine.
But
People can just go
yeah,
to take a look at your Instagram. You know, you've got
there you
plenty of pictures there from events.
there you go. And it's something that I like to talk about and I like to encourage people to get into. It's I think the plus side of anybody's career, the friendships that they make along the way.
Yeah.
um yeah.
So, can you think of
And
a time? Was there a time when community was too much? It took away from what you were doing otherwise, and you had to pull back a little bit, possibly.
um there is always that tension, you know, where you feel like you can do more, and then you look around. Even now, I could overhear my little daughter knocking at the door to get into the office. She just came back from school, where you stop and you say, oh, maybe I should pause a little bit, and then I spend some time with my kids and my family. And what I have been trying to do is to expand, and kind of break the circles or the boxes, if you will, where we say, I'm doing this for community, and now I cannot do something else with family. Whereas we bring everybody together and we try to mix and mingle family and community. So my daughters, the older ones, they help me when I run live events. So they kind of
Okay.
control the mothership, so they get exposed to what I do at community events. If I am going to speak in another country, I try almost every time to bring them together. So we do the events as well as we spend time as a short family vacation. We did that last year when I went to Israel. I
Okay.
went to Israel first, and then on the way back, I was to speak at an event in Paris. So they were already there waiting for me to come. So we try to mix that and expose them to that reality, so that it doesn't take time away, um, my time away from them, and yet I can do things that I love as well. um yeah, that's what we're trying to do as a
It
family.
is. It is very important. I mean, I can think of several recent examples. So, although I didn't attend it, but Scottish Summit, this year, at the beginning of 2020, was something that they had some children there along with their parent or their parents in order to be able to be involved. And the virtual power group, Claire Rose
Hmm.
Carmichael, is one of the people who organise it, along with Paddy O'Brien and some
Yeah,
really great people. Um, and they do it specifically. It's in the evening and it's virtual as well, so they can interact with their families and they're not drawn away and going out for hours at a time,
lovely.
evening after evening.
Yeah, that's lovely. I'd say though, I mean, a lot of us, even if we extrapolate from community events and tech jobs, a lot of us, we as human beings, we tend to complain a lot about issues that it's in our hands to change, right? I mean, I'm a father of three girls, and there is a whole bunch of people talking about inclusion and diversity, having a work place that represents the reality of our communities, right?
Yep.
And we complain that governments should do more and companies should do more and everybody should do more, right? But we don't tend to look at ourselves and say, as a father, how can I introduce my girls to this reality, so much so that they're not shy when they wanted to speak in public. They don't feel
That's
the
great.
pressure to prove that, because I am a female or I'm a black person or whatever the label or the race or whatever it is, comes to put that additional pressure, that should be solely based on the content that I present, right? So
Yep.
what we try, my wife and I, what we try to do is, let's introduce the girls. Let's not expose them to the discussion about the labels or anything. Let us, parents, make the way for them. Let's open the path. Let's create paths for them so that they can learn and they can also expose the things that they love. So I mean, that
Wow.
goes with the musical instruments. Just put a bunch around the house. They will pick one. They will love one, and in the future it may turn into a thing, or maybe it's just a hobby that they will have, or public speaking. I think last year my wife and I, we enrolled the girls on a business summer camp, and my second child was 9 at the time, and she
Okay.
came back home. She was talking about business terms, market assessment, and all of these things that when I was her age, I don't even knew. uh, I don't know what I was after. Maybe I was just running after a soccer ball. Those things never came to mind, but we are preparing the way for the future generation in
Yeah.
such
So
a
true.
manner that, yeah, such a manner that it's not presenting the challenges to them. Look, my daughter, it's very hard. The market's hard. It's unjust. You're gonna fight a lot of. No. I'm preparing you, so you're gonna follow your heart later on, and hopefully you're not even going to experience any type of you know gender prejudice or whatever it is.
No, that's really, really important. As we bring up our
Yeah,
children into the world, trying to prepare them in the right way to do things, to follow their dreams, to be able to do
that's
it,
right.
unshackled, unrestrained by what's on around them in terms of things,
Hmm.
obviously, race, gender, etc.
Yep, yep.
So
And
if you were giving tips to somebody, you know, who was looking to get involved in community for the first time or something, what would your top three tips be?
the first one would be connect. LinkedIn is a great tool. You can connect with people. I get invitations from people that I never met in my life, and then when I go in one of the countries or cities, I get to see them face to face. So connect with people. Some people don't like to be invited out of the blue. If you invite me into your network, you're going to get a yes, regardless if I met you or not. I believe in connection. I think that's first and foremost. Second one would be put yourself out there. Find an event that folks are looking for speakers. Even if you haven't done it in the past, just speak. You know, find a topic that you love. Put yourself out there. I had this conversation with Mary Thompson, I think, about 2 years ago. Just
Mary is
present.
awesome.
She is. Just go out there, present, and so many other people, folks that I met along the way. It's not how much you know. You never know much. I mean, you sit under like a lecture from Scott Duro. Guy knows everything. You're never gonna speak about anything after a session like that. But it's not about what you know, uh, in a sense that you have to dominate a technology or subject to impress people. I think people are more interested in how you care for them. I'm talking about this particular subject. This is what I know today, and what I know may be valuable to a group of people. and then you learn
Very
from
true.
there. People will ask a question that you have no idea how to respond. At the end of your presentation, you're gonna go and you're gonna study and you're gonna get better at it. That's how I started, and still to this day, I don't know all this much, but
Yeah,
we do things with the intent to help folks out. A little bit that we know, a little information that we heard and tested and apply, we wanted to pass it around, pass it to the
yeah.
community.
And what would your third tip be?
I'm still processing in my head. I'd say study, perfect your craft. There is it's actually a Hebrew a proverb that says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens another. So, that
Yeah,
that whole act of perfecting your craft, as the proverb says, one of us sharpens the other. And then in turn, now I'm challenged to know more. I'm gonna study. I will get better. So next time I present again, I look a little sharper than I was last time. And then we go. And then whomever is receiving that knowledge or inspiration, they go out and they inspire other people. So in my
very true.
presentations, I always say, whatever you learn here, you don't have to put my name into it. If you want to go out and publish a video as if it's your own idea, go for it. As long as you inspire and you help other folks get started, get better at what they do.
Definitely. Well, I have to say that was very, very inspiring to me personally. And,
Mhm.
when I started getting involved in community, that's how I did it. But really appreciate your time in coming on the show and sharing all these marvelous things.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for making this venue available for me and for many of us. Really appreciate it.
It's an absolute pleasure. Been going on for over a year now, and it's just amazing the stories that keep coming out.
Yeah, that's really good. The human side of this community is amazing. Let alone the
It's
technical. The technical, it's already great, but the humanity of the community is just awesome.
it is very much. So,
Yeah.
viewers, we hope that you have also been inspired by this episode. In fact, you may be so inspired that you can hit the link below and submit your own details to come on the show yourself and share your story. But if you don't worry, I'll understand. Feel free to take a look at the rest of the Oops Hector playlist, subscribe to the channel, take a look at the blog, and above all, have a great day.
All right. Take care.